What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Destiny 2 Forsaken Exotic Weapon review video. In this video, I'll be going over probably one of my favorite and a lot of people's favorite exotic hand cannons that came to the game. It is Malfeasance. On how to obtain this weapon, there are multiple quest steps for this exotic, but the main step is playing Gambit and getting the Taken servitor called Malfeasance to spawn. So if your team defeats it, you'll be able to start the quest. You'll be able to get, I'm pretty sure it's called like the Seething Heart or something like that, and then you go to the Drifter. Basically, the way this servitor spawns, it can spawn at any time when you're playing Gambit, but the odds of it spawning are higher on the highest of the curse week, so you definitely want to play Gambit at that time if you're trying to go for Malfeasance. After basically all that, all you have to do is like a specific strike and do specific things in Gambit, like get an army of one, kill enemy guardians, stuff like that. It's, in my opinion, it's really not that bad versus other quest steps that you have to do for other weapons. Let's go over the perks. So it comes with Explosive Shadow. Shoot tainted slugs that burrow into the enemy. Stacking of slugs causes them to explode. Pretty awesome. Next, Corkscrew Rifling. Slightly increases range of stability. Slightly increases handling speed. Next, Extended Mag. I always say increase the mag size while lowering the reload speed. Next, we have Taken Predator. Bonus damage against taken enemies and Gambit invaders. And then Heavy Grip. Increases stability and then decreases handling speed. There's also an ornament you can get for this. So this is what it looks like originally. Pretty nifty. And then this is the Aim to Misbehave. It kind of makes it look taken, which is pretty cool. So here's a summary of my thoughts on the weapon right up front. So first up, archetype. This is a 180 RPM hand cannon, which are currently the best types of hand cannons on console, and it performs pretty well on PC, in my opinion. Like, it's a pretty solid archetype. Obviously, Luna's Howl takes the cake in that archetype just because of what it can do. But moving on, going over its perk, Explosive Shadow. This perk means that once you shoot 5 slugs into an enemy, they do essentially what would be an AoE effect on that enemy specifically. You shoot 5 slugs, those 5 slugs burrow in and do extra damage. I probably shouldn't say AoE effect. I should probably just say extra damage. But whenever I say AoE effect in this video, keep that in mind. Like, it's for that specific enemy. It like burrows in them. It's kind of weird. So next, Taken Predator. This perk gives you extra damage against Taken and enemy guardians, which is good for things like the Last Wish raid and Gambit specifically. Considering that in Gambit there's always going to be enemy guardians and Taken when the Primeval is up, it's going to be extremely effective. Going over PvE in general, it's pretty good. Even if you aren't fighting Taken enemies, it can still shred through smaller tier adds and majors pretty easily, plus do great boss DPS for a primary weapon. It's one of my personal favorite exotics to use for PvE, like either for lower tier or even endgame activities. Like, it just fits both. I would rank it as one of the better PvE weapons to use next to legendary weapons with things like Rampage and Outlaw, Feeding Frenzy, etc., etc. The Explosive Shadow perk is the main thing that makes a difference because of how fast it can shred through some enemies. For the Last Wish raid specifically, it can melt through pesky majors and even take down the health of some bosses fairly well because of the Taken Predator perk, and it's a good option when you run out of special and heavy ammo as well. I'm pretty sure I saw it was Glad's team, Redeem, was it Clan Redeem? They actually took down Riven with Malfeasance. Like, it shredded her. It was insane. So, in my opinion, this is one of the better PvE weapons to use in the exotic slot. Going over PvP, in the Crucible, it performs like any other 180 RPM hand cannon, really. Obviously, Luna's Howl and Not Forgotten take the cake, but others like Trust, West of Sunfault 7, etc. perform extremely well, especially on console, as I said. The cool thing with this is that no matter how far away an enemy is, as long as you can pump 5 slugs into an enemy guardian within a certain amount of time, they will die because of the Explosive Shadow perk. So range doesn't really matter. I shouldn't say doesn't really matter because you could be taken out by a pulse rifle. Again, choose your engagements wisely. Always recommend that for the Crucible. But as long as you pump in 5 shots, they're done. Plus, stability is very good as well, so it could keep it very consistent, especially on this weapon. Stability is out the butt. There's really not a lot to say about this weapon considering most of its perks are utilized against taken enemies or in Gambit. Speaking of Gambit, let's go over that. So I usually combine the PvE and PvP sides of Gambit into the previous sections, but I have to make Gambit a separate section because of Malfeasance perks. First up, in PvE, well, I should say PvE side of Gambit, there's always taken enemies, either the blockers or all the enemies that spawn with the Primeval. So you're guaranteed some taken enemies. Considering this weapon does more damage to taken, once you pump 5 shots into a smaller medium blocker, it can usually take them down with ease. Like, it's super easy, which allows you to save on your special and heavy ammo for high value targets, large blockers, Primeval, or enemy guardians. Now that I said that, going over the PvP side, Like, you can do extra damage to enemy guardians, which is good for either being invaded or invading. So it's pretty awesome. My only issue is that since most of your PvP engagements are at a distance, you must be sure you're close enough. As I mentioned before, as long as you pump 5 slugs into them, they're most certainly gonna die. Like, I have been shredded by Malfeasance I don't know how many times in this game. It is insane how fast this gun can shred you. Like, especially with that extra damage on top of it. Like, this weapon is made for Gambit specifically. This is where it can be the most effective. Going over some useful exotics and perks, I can't think of any relevant exotics that help you out with this hand cannon, but any perks like hand cannon targeting, dexterity, unflinching, especially reload on this thing, considering it does come with extended mag, will help out your gameplay a lot. Going over my final thoughts, this is the most versatile weapon, probably, well, one of the most versatile weapons in the game. Obviously, it's going to be crazy good in Gambit just because of its perks, but if you're ever doing any PvE activities that have a lot of taken, like the Last Wish, Shattered Throne, etc., it's going to perform it really good there as well. Also, it performs fairly well in the Crucible too. Obviously, the perks really aren't made for it, but again, once you pump 5 shots into somebody, they are done. So this weapon, again, probably one of the most versatile in the game currently. Now that we're at the end of the video, there's 3 things I want to tell you guys. So number 1, my clan, the D1 Fire team, is looking for active players in the Destiny community. Our members play all sorts of activities from casual PvE and PvP to the endgame content like any of the raids, Shattered Throne, stuff like that. If you're actively playing Destiny 2 and want the benefits of a bigger clan, the link to join is below. We're multi-platform, so we have Xbox, PS4, and PC players. All you have to do is request to join, and myself or one of the admins will approve you. Number 2, if you'd like to know how to support me, there's a link below that says best way to support me. That'll take you to a 4-minute video. If you want to go check that out, that'd be awesome. But if you don't want to do that, you can always like this video, subscribe to the channel, share this video, and all that like content creator good jazz if you want to do that. Third thing, Discord. We have a link to the Discord below. Just a heads up, we're looking for anyone with moderator experience to potentially kind of run the Discord. It's not like super huge or anything like that, but for myself, I'm more of a player versus being a manager, you know, so I really don't know a lot about that stuff, but if you are someone who can be a moderator, awesome, just let me know. I know for myself, I'm on Xbox, but if any of you guys would like to talk to me or chat to me, Discord is going to be the best way to do that. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this video. We'll catch you next time.